Aw, I think your cat wants to come in.
We don't.
I laughed at that. I was like,
people, this world is so crazy. That might have been a cat that threw his ass to there. Oh, that fool. Hey everyone, support our Patreon, which helps us to continue bringing you our live streams, videos, and podcasts while bringing you new content such as exclusive live streams and animated shorts. I really loved the first season of this, man. And everybody, they told me for a while, they said, Corey, you gotta watch this, man. I'm telling you.
For years.
For years. And I didn't. And some people said, why won't you watch it? And I said, cause, well, you know what? If you look at this screen and look right down there in the corner, I ain't paying for no goddamn YouTube originals.
Yeah. I wasn't paying for YouTube, for the YouTube channel. And people were like, I don't pay either. I pirate that shit. I was like, I don't want to do that either.
Well, No, I didn't do that, man. I waited for all of them to come to Netflix.
Honestly, I do everything to not pirate things.
Yeah, me too, man. Yeah, man. I just wait for it to just kind of pop up in places. I don't pirate though, man. But no, people, I waited. Hey, look, the YouTube originals. They had one thing that everybody watched, and it was Cobra Kai.
Yep.
And after Cobra Kai season 1 went off, they said, you know what, we don't even feel like paying for this shit anymore.
Yeah.
YouTube originals was gone.
Yeah.
But I tell you, this was great what they had right here, because with Cobra Kai, what they did was they took the Karate Kid and sort of did a role reversal. So Danny LaRusso, the heroic underdog, and Johnny Lawrence, who was the popular rich kid bully.
Yeah.
Well, with this, things got kind of reversed, man. For one, Johnny Lawrence was no longer the pretty boy, handsome, get everything he wants rich kid anymore. Instead, he was the broke ass, sorry ass, drunk ass handyman.
Daniel LaRusso here for LaRusso Auto. We are chopping prices on all of our inventory.
And Danny LaRusso. Danny was no longer the unpopular, picked on kid. Instead, Danny was now the most popular guy in town who had one of the most successful car dealerships in town. Danny was rich.
Yeah, he's doing commercials on TV. Everybody knows him. Yeah. He's got a swank house, a beautiful wife.
Oh, everything, man. Everything.
He's had everything you could ever want.
Yeah, man. Shit, I think that he stopped on the street a couple times and pissed on Johnny. Yeah, but that was what was going on, man. You had the role reversal to where not even was Danny just popular now and Johnny was the loser, but some people said Danny might, I ain't gonna go as far as to say villain, but Danny might be the antagonist in a way, because Danny's a little smug, he's a little self-righteous, and at some point he even took Johnny's estranged son and started training him, leaving Johnny to adopt a little Mexican boy across the hall of his apartment complex.
We are chopping prices on all of our inventory.
Oh, this is a guy whose ass you kicked.
If you want to get technical, I kicked his face.
Man, come on. See? Because some people like, man, Danny was just all right. People going off on him too much. Like, no, he knew what he was saying right there.
He knew what he was saying. But if this was somebody who bullied you all through high school, that's being nice.
Man, and some people say, man, you got money. You got a fine-ass wife. Man, get past that shit.
He said that one thing.
That old shit.
He did not ride Johnny's ass.
That ain't how Johnny saw it. Johnny said, man, the moment I walked in, you starting with me.
Because Johnny's still mad.
Well, of course Johnny's mad, because Johnny ain't got shit. Johnny ain't got nothing but that title.
He gave Johnny a car. Dude.
Johnny was such a loser. He couldn't even sit down and eat gas station pizza without the kids picking on him, man. And then people gonna say, man, why you beating up kids? Because he had to, man.
Fuck those kids.
Yeah, those kids were assholes, man.
Yeah.
Johnny was doing the best that he can. That's the thing about it, man. And that's what season 1 had going for it. Season 1, it had that role reversal, which at some point, it went in and really start to develop these characters past what we knew.
Sure. It was taking something that we'd known from before, something familiar, and kind of turning the lens. Like, well, let's look at it from this angle and how it's progressed and what these characters have done. And we get to see them, grow as people and be more and expand. And that was really fun.
No, it was. It was great to see that. And that was the novelty that really made it work. That was what was, and it did. I loved that first series, man. I was almost late getting my passport because I was up all night watching these episodes. And then enters John Kreese.
Oh, yeah.
John Kreese. And that's when things got crazy. With season 2, he tore down season 2 like he was trying to tear down that city. John Kreese, of course, was the villain from the first movie and the second movie, the real villain, and even the third movie. They made a third movie where he came back and he was the main villain.
Is that the one with Hilary Swank?
No, that's the one where he came in and brought Johnny back and tried to get. He was just mad.
Oh,
he just couldn't let it go.
Oh shit.
Yeah, there was first this clever comedic take on Johnny and Daniel, making them more complex. But in season 2, things turned. It turned into a silly ass karate soap opera, which I still enjoyed on some levels. But there was some parts where I just said, now this is just getting goddamn ridiculous over here. We remember the parts that we talked about. If anybody saw our review for season 2, well, we talking about how these kids came in and they just turned into the town terrorists.
Right.
At the end of season 2, where
the big battle royale.
Oh yeah, where they just tore that school up.
Oh damn!
Screw this.
Shit. I'm gonna get my ass beat on a teacher's check. Kids out here beating the hell out of each other. Yeah, man. And you know what? And I said, this is way over the top. But at least they did little touches like that. We talk about, man, how come teachers never show up? That's why, because they get their ass beat.
They even mentioned in third season, they're like, look, it's the department rules that you cannot get in between two students.
And that also resulted in the cliffhanger, where the character Miguel, who is Johnny's adopted son, played by Zolo Maraduena, I believe his name is. You know his name, man. Y'all know. Miguel.
I mean, honestly, it begins with an X, so it could be Holo.
Holo Maraduena. Ended with a cliffhanger, him getting kicked off of a balcony and breaking his back.
Ooh.
That motherfucker felt like Mufasa.
I know. Ooh, that was Zack Snyder.
Ooh. Resulting in Miguel being put into a coma.
Paralyzed.
Back obviously broken, paralyzed. Robbie, who was Johnny's son, a strange son, he's on the lam right now. He's a fugitive from the police because he almost killed this kid. Got another kid on parole. And, looking at all this, I'm like, well, you know what? A couple of things. Like I said, this ended on a good cliffhanger. They addressed how ridiculous it got, kinda. And at this point, they gave us a lot of open-ended subplots that a lot of people really do want to find out what's going to happen. I say, you know what? You knew how to tell this story, as silly as it might have as it might have gotten. Did you see all of season 2?
I watched none of season 2.
Oh, it's insane. But them going as silly as they were and over the top, does it get even sillier in season 3? The questions that they answer, do we need to know the answer to those? Do we want those answers? Oh, does Miguel get his legs back and snap out of that coma? So many things unanswered. And can they keep up? I mean, look, like I said, this is a novelty that kind of barely lasted into season 2, which depended on the whole thing of Danny and Johnny and their rivalry. Can this actually be stretched out to 3 seasons? Let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer for Cobra Kai season 3, and we'll be back with our review.
I thought I was doing the right thing, but I failed you. Let us find out.
So we're talking about all the crazy stuff that happened in season 2, which you didn't see, but I saw and I liked, man. I liked and I loved the first season of Cobra Kai. But as I said, for me, things got maybe just a little bit too crazy, But season 3 opens up with parents in the community addressing the crazy shit that happened.
I like that.
Yeah, they said that, look, they were talking about the seriousness of the consequences. And like, you got a boy in a coma. You got another kid who's a criminal on the run.
Yeah.
Some of these kids done broke laws, and one of them is on parole right now.
I mean, a big karate brawl in the mall, and tore down the school.
In school? Yeah.
Yeah. This in our little valley, we've been all, it's revolved around karate because that's all we had. But karate, we ain't having this no more.
No, karate tore this town apart. Shit, Daniel LaRusso's daughter got PTSD. Every time she go to school, she starts shaking and shit. They're like, nah, man, look, this is destroying lives.
Yeah.
And plus, these kids are getting on our goddamn nerves.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit, they punching adults now. They ain't got no respect. There's like gangs of teenagers running around.
No, I really like
beating up adults.
That all the ridiculousness of the second season, they addressed that to go like, yeah, we know this was bad.
Yeah. It seemed like the show just kind of acknowledged, saying like, yeah, you know what, we might have got a little bit too crazy. Maybe it's time to tone down the ridiculous of it.
Is there a new showrunner who looked at that and went like, ugh?
Yeah, maybe we need to tone down the ridiculous of it. It's just a smidgen. But Kreese said, bitch, you forget I'm still here. As long as this dude is here,
Yeah.
it's gonna stay crazy.
He's one of those villains where I'm like, I don't love to hate you. I just feel like everybody needs to get together and get rid of you.
Yeah, man. It's Martin Cove. Martin Cove, who's played this character for decades. I mean, obviously he loves the character, but god damn, he's the one that takes it over this insane level here.
Yeah, every time we almost get it on a level that's dealable, that's sane, where we can all, coexist. He's like, nah, I can't have that.
No.
Let me pour this gasoline down here and throw my cigar down in it.
Bitch, yeah. I'm a goddamn villain. I didn't come in here to have things be normal or have people act like they got sense. And I tell you why, because he's a villain, and he's doing probably what he should be doing. But I tell you what the problem is for me with that character, and that's a character I actually like. But I'll tell you what the problem is in a little while. But the thing is, man, look, some things just get so stupid now. It don't even feel like it's on Earth anymore. You don't even feel like it's this dimension anymore. These kids have gone way beyond bullies, man.
Oh yeah.
But they are straight up criminals.
Yeah.
As I said, they might as well be gangs in the apocalyptic wasteland just running around. They bring in the families' homes to like attack the kids, and not just attack. They try to kill each other. And I ain't gonna lie, sometimes it got so crazy that I'm not gonna lie. It got so crazy I couldn't help but laugh, man. I was like, this is just so insane that I don't know if this is even.
Yeah, you're like, what is he teaching these kids?
Is this supposed to be the comedy? Because it gets ridiculous, man. These kids make tactics where they outside making cat sounds and shit.
I know.
Aw, I think your cat wants to come in.
We don't.
I laughed at that. I was like,
people, this world is so crazy. That might have been a cat that threw his ass to there. Oh, that fool. People, I gotta show you this one more time. That fool.
Really?
And by the way, he kind of deserved it because he fell for the oldest trick in the book.
Well, he hears a cat and immediately just walks straight outside
And
without
by the
asking
way,
a question.
the girl didn't say, "Stop, we don't have a cat." She's like, "Fuck it, I ain't going out there."
Yeah, well, who would think that if you heard a cat outside, it's actually bullies waiting to bust into your house and beat the shit out of you?
And I give them bullies credit, boy. They practiced that cat sound. Cause even I thought, like, is that a cat out there? I was like, shit, they've been rehearsing this.
Aw, I think your cat wants to come in.
You dumb motherfucker. Look at that dumb, y'all. Even the camera just was up in his face to show you how stupid he was.
Right.
Oh, I like cats.
You want to ask if that is our
Here,
cat?
kitty.
I didn't know you had a cat.
We don't.
And by the way, every time the bullies show up, they always play that guitar riff too.
Well, it seems like the cops in this town, in this valley, they only go after Johnny. Everybody else does whatever they want to do, and cops never show up.
That is the problem here, man. I mean, the cops should have been called the moment them motherfuckers were tearing up the mall. Mm-hmm. But it's like, it's frustrating. It's only frustrating because one call to the cops could have solved all this. One call, and because
we don't know what kind of cops they got.
No, the reason why the cops don't show up because they don't call the fucking cops. Every time something happens, I can take care of this with karate.
Myself.
I'll go out and do this with martial arts. And it's like, no, mother, call the cops. It's beyond you at this point. It's beyond him. It's like the town is going crazy.
Yeah, man, we know how cops are. They just showed up and just shot all the kids.
Good. Man, let me tell you, I was so sick and tired of watching these kids beat the shit out of each other. I really was, man. I was kind of done with it in season 2, but that was a cool ass scene where they were beating up the school. I just like, damn, that's just kind of crazy the way this is going wild. I was sick and tired of seeing these fucking kids beat the shit out of each other not because the fight scenes were bad or anything, but it's redundant. For most of the episodes, for me, these kids had no personality other than to try to out-bully each other. Like, they were all bullies at this point. They were just in competition to see who could be shittier than the other. And they, and it's just, they didn't have any, there was no development, no character beyond that for most of it. Especially little ass Hawk right here. He was getting on my nerves because they were showing he's the toughest one. He was the one that was really doing most of the dirt. It's bad when I feel this way. These kids were so out of control and had so much attitude. And I mean, they were a danger. They're not menaces anymore. They're murderous gangs. And I was like, if somebody went in and shot any one of these kids, I would not feel anything.
That's true. They really do become gangs. And considering that most of them, at least half of them, started out as nerds who were being bullied.
When there are no teachers around, because it's we need to see the kids be bullied and so you can hate the bullies, or we can see a cool fight scene. They don't ever show up until after things have gone off. Even though these kids,
hey, I don't know whose fault it was, but you're all in
even
trouble.
Though these kids get up in the middle of the lunchroom and like, I'm gonna kick his ass, and teachers is like, they don't come around and parents ain't nowhere. But again, it's not like this is supposed to make sense. It's just, for me, not very good writing. It's very, very, very transparent writing, because what you want to do is you don't want to have any adults around because you want to interrupt these fight scenes right here.
Right.
And there's a lot of parts in this show where they just find any excuse to fight. Everywhere they go, there's a bully. I'm telling you, this town is the most vile, vicious ass town I've ever seen. And I understand that the kids are being manipulated by old evil ass Kreese over here. I get it that they're being trained to go against each other. They're being trained to be violent just so he can cause some disruption in the town, just to kind of mess with Danny and Johnny. But here's my problem with him. As I tell you, I would say what my problem with him is later. And here's the point where I tell you right now. My problem with him is like, I don't know what his motivation is.
You are like, why are you doing this?
I mean, he's almost like a cross between the Joker and Satan.
Well, something this season does, which I think on paper is a good thing, but I didn't like it so much, is that with so many of the bad characters, the villains, it goes into their story to let you know, like, well, these are the kind of things they got going on that make them how they are. And with each one of those, I'm like, I appreciate that from a writing point of view, but still, every time you reveal their story to me, I was still like, so? Yeah. That doesn't excuse all this shit they're doing.
People, especially John Kreese, this guy has, when I say he's like a cross between the Joker and Satan, it's because he loves to turn people against each other, and he just loves, I don't know what his motivation is other than to just cause chaos. I mean, I don't even think the writers knew. I think they were just kind of like,
maybe it's to come, because as it is right now, it doesn't get revealed.
No, it doesn't. And I'm thinking, why would the kids want to even be around this guy?
And he is really going out of his way to sow the seeds of destruction amongst this town, amongst these kids.
Yeah.
And just like he's got some kind of love for Johnny Lawrence, it's such a I need you to join me, but I need to corrupt everything about you.
Yeah, he's I don't know, he's like an emperor with no plan.
Yeah.
Like the emperor from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Where the emperor wants to take over the galaxy. This motherfucker don't know what he wants. He's just evil. And why the kids want to be around? Because the dude is visibly evil. Like I ain't never seen somebody who puts their evil out there for you to see out in broad daylight. Because he's shifty as a... he's
totally shifty. He doesn't have loyalty, but he knows how to do the simplest of manipulations on the worst kids.
Oh, he should, man. You can look at him and he is shifty-eyed as fuck. Every time he's looking at something, and boy, be careful. He puts his head down, his eyes start going back and forth. That means somebody about to get hurt.
Finish him.
No.
I mean, he does that through the whole thing. You can see where he even tells two people to fight, and he's like, it's like you can't see this fool is evil as fuck, man.
It's very much these kids are 17. They don't know no better.
And everything to him is like all his dialogue is just to take on how the strong survive and the weak die.
Yeah.
He's got 100 different ways of saying that. The cobra eats the mouse because the fucking cobra's strong, man. I heard this shit already. I heard. He's always got, that's most of his dialogue. He's always waiting for the right time of night to come into the shadows and talk to people and shit.
Oh, he loves them shadows.
He loves that motherfucker brings his own shadow with him. Yeah, one thing he's well stocked on: shadows and cigars. I would just say they give this man a flashback, and to Martin's credit, because I was going to say the same thing, they give a flashback to try to explain. Well, you see, this is the torment he went through to be like, no, it is not.
Yeah,
I don't explain shit.
It's like, no, that was a horrible thing that happened to him. No doubt about it. But that doesn't have jack shit to do with this.
Nothing. No, you're just a natural born dick.
Yeah.
Now, on the flip side, I will say that I still very much enjoy all the stuff with the adults. It's almost like
I was just going to say it because I was like, man, I feel bad talking about all this stuff that's wrong with it because overall, I really enjoyed it, and especially the stuff with the adults. Everything with Johnny and Danny, everything with... Johnny is wonderful. He is the heart of this whole thing.
William Zabka, who plays Johnny.
And just the shit he doesn't know about the modern world would crack me up. And some of it was like, some of this seems silly, but it still makes me laugh. Him getting to WebMD and him going like, yeah, I'm gonna look on WebMD.
Yeah. Johnny,
he just doesn't know. He's been willfully ignorant.
It's like Johnny has been in a cryo chamber.
Yes.
Of his own mind.
Of his own mind.
For years. Johnny with his dumb ass.
He's been in a cryo chamber, yet he's been allowed to leave it every day and still not pick up on what's going on outside of his world.
He still think Motley Crue's making chart topping hits. Yeah. He still think Poison and Dee Snider still out. If you don't know Dee Snider's a musician. Dee Snider's actually...
What's the name of the band?
Twisted Sister.
Twisted Sister. Yeah, he's like, I'm going to take you to the pinnacle of human civilization. A Dee Snider concert.
I'm going to take you to a Dee Snider concert. Some shit from 30 years later. Hey, I ain't nothing against Dee Snider.
Nothing against Dee Snider.
Dee Snider's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, he's out there. He's still,
he's still out there performing.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit, he's in Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Season 3. But Johnny is so funny, man. And Johnny...
He's hilarious.
Yeah, they still managed to get all the humor out of Johnny just not being in the times. Mm-hmm. Johnny's still trying to get Miguel to jack off to women who probably even alive no more. Right. Sports Illustrated swimwear from 1982. Johnny is so pathetic, man. but he's trying. The thing about Johnny is that
he keeps trying.
He keeps
trying.
And
that's why you root for him. That's why you don't hate him.
See, Johnny is a guy that it still works that the guy that at one time was not only the pretty boy, handsome, rich kid, but he was also the shirtless, oiled up. He ain't got none but pictures of himself oiled up like.
Yeah, do you have any pictures of you with a shirt on?
Johnny used to jack off to himself. He used to pull out the headband and the shirtless body all with baby oil on it. He even said, when some kid asked him, we got to take some new pictures. He's like, well, I don't know if I got any baby oil in the house. He's like, I ain't rubbing your ass down. But Johnny, the thing with Johnny, man, is that Johnny and Danny, as the story of the kids get worse season to season, Danny and Johnny,
Their story gets better.
it gets better and better.
Yeah, like especially with Danny, because we had all those other Karate Kid movies, so we get to go back into the history of that with him reuniting with other people, and it's like, man, this is, you know what? I didn't even think about those movies before, but
Yeah.
this has really legitimized all that and turned it into something.
I mean, look, you're gonna have to get through a whole lot of nostalgia. You know, if nostalgia is overload, or if you overdosing on nostalgia these days, then that might not be for you, because they cram as much as they can in one season, this season, from several movies in the past. There was a point that I thought they gonna bring back Mr. Miyagi as a zombie. I was like, shit, you bringing back everybody else.
Use that Luke Skywalker technology on it.
And Mr. Miyagi is the ghost back there, a glowing ghost and shit. But they cram a lot. We can't tell you everything with that, but they cram a lot in there, man. And I will say this, and maybe there's something I'm not supposed to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway, because I thought one of the best references that they did, there were some real nice touches in the throwback to Karate Kid 2.
Your sensei teach you how to fight with spear?
You know, that's the one where he went to Okinawa and had to fight to the death. They do some real cool throwbacks to that. I thought that's one of the most cleverest moments in the show.
I did too, especially for him his pilgrimage to the old village.
Yeah. That was, I ain't gonna say what it,
Yeah,
but
say what
man,
it
it
is,
doesn't say
man.
it's, man, 30 years makes a difference, boy.
It does.
He got out there playing that flute. He's like, it's the ancient ones. Like, shit. It can feel pretty crowbarred and forced with what they've done, but I have to say, every piece of nostalgia that they did it in a real mature way, man. That was really cool.
They did, because normally I'm very sensitive to that, and I'll roll my eyes and be like, oh, God, not this again. But here, I thought it worked really well.
Yeah. It added character, it added story. The kids fighting, that's all they were doing. It's just fucking fighting.
Yeah.
And another thing with these kids, I'm so sick and tired of them being moved around like goddamn chess pieces, always switching alliances.
I know. Always switching alliances.
It's fake drama. It's them being criminals. It's them being changing allegiances just so we can force some sort of tension here. And I'd say Ralph Macchio is still great, man. Like, he's got wrinkles, but he's still like a kid, man.
He does.
There were moments like,
although
oh,
his voice
shit.
sounds like Steve Buscemi.
It sure does. But Ralph Macchio and William Zabka, man, they're great together. And the reason why those bits of nostalgia and those flashbacks work is because it adds story to further develop these guys. And what it really brings to light, every bit of flashback that we're starting to see here, and every character that comes in, they're coming in to tell them that, look, how many people got to tell you that you, Danny, you and Johnny are so much alike. Mm-hmm. This was a story about a bully and his victim, the heroic underdog too. Man, these are two guys who are too goddamn old to be doing what they're doing, and now the consequences are tearing up the
everyone.
and it's affecting everyone, and they're way more alike than they think.
Mm-hmm.
And one person needs to have more sense than the other. Danny Danny should be the one to have more sense than Johnny.
I get it. And normally I am like, come on, you got to be the bigger person. But it's like, yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But it is both of you guys. You both got to step beyond this.
And the women in the women in their lives, they're like, you know what? I'm not getting in the middle of this shit. When I see Johnny, I'm gonna be nice to Johnny, and hopefully, when Johnny's girls or whatever, when they come around you, they'll be nice to you. There's so many moments where they have to just take themselves out of their bullshit.
I love, and I am almost in love with Danny's wife, because she's just like that great wife character who she's always calling him on his shit, talking about the whole situation, but she's got his back, and every so often she kind of goes off herself.
Courtney Hengler.
Yeah, but she's really in there. She's a solid character along with everybody else.
Yeah, she's now that's what I'm saying. She's the main one. She's like, when I get around you and John, don't ask me to be mean to Johnny.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not getting in the middle of your bullshit.
Yeah, I don't have that rivalry with him.
Yeah. She's never like, yeah, kick his ass, Danny. She's like, nah, you know what? If I'm going to around you, I'm gonna act like an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Even with them, man, they had to force in fight scenes that don't always make sense either. Not all the time. There's one fight scene in particular where they go to a chop shop, and it's one of those fight scenes where if these guys are so dangerous, How come ain't nobody got a gun? And also, how come everybody's waiting to attack one by one?
Leaving already?
No cops, all right? We can work this out.
And Johnny wanna fight.
He's itching for it.
And Johnny said, shit, this is what I came in here for. Well, we looking for somebody? I didn't know that.
Or not.
And my man in the background said, fuck it, I'm out.
He does wait.
Yeah, man, he loves, yeah, man.
You know
Somebody
what?
said, Dad
To
fight.
me, it's a dumb but fun scene that would be more fun if we didn't have the kids doing that all the time too.
That is why I'm saying, like, you know, after seeing all the fights, I'm like, you know, now we're forcing another fight here.
Yeah.
It's like, and I'm enjoying these guys just being guys or fighting when it feels like it's natural. Which that scene didn't feel very natural right there. It felt like, hey, we got to have a fight scene. We're due for one right now. Not to harp on or keep raving about Johnny, but this really is, it continues to be Johnny's story, man. Johnny's, because Johnny is more interesting where, you know, Danny's successful and you know, he's got everything going for him. Johnny's the one that really has to redeem himself and find his way in life. He's lost. And Johnny is the guy that, you know, he's still so flawed that he doesn't know how to communicate with people. He's behind on the times. He even still, I like the way they don't try to make him seem like he's completely nice. You know, he's still a bully.
Yeah, he's still calling people pussies.
Yeah, he's still calling people pussies on the open. There's a moment where he passed by a kid that was carrying books. And he knocked that shit down like, man, I'm sorry, that's just instinct. And the kid even looked at him like, mother, you a grown man. This is what made the first season so special. It was really Johnny's story. They turned it around from making it Danny's story to Johnny's story, and this still works best when it's Johnny's story followed closely behind him and Danny's story. There are so many moments where somebody's in trouble or somebody's getting their ass beat, but the narration from previously, the advice from earlier, goes off in their head. And by the way, like, you know what I'm saying, like when somebody's getting their ass beat and that voice goes, the voice of advice from earlier comes in, and it would be one thing if it was some real profound shit, but it's like the most,
it's fortune cookie stuff.
Yeah. Man, it is the most generic shit. Somebody's getting their ass beaten and in their mind like, remember, when you were down, you have the power inside of you. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Use the force.
Yeah. Like, that helps me none at all.
Wait, you couldn't remember that before just now? You know what? It's moments like that when that's almost the real throwback to the Karate Kid. Because Karate Kid was fun, but it was just like a kid's version of, you know, Rocky or just simplified, and you know the beats. It's predictable, and it's those moments like that. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. I am watching a story that's supposed to be heroic yet predictable.
Yeah. It's just, that's a movie. We got several episodes where that happens almost every episode, and it happens to several people. Somebody's on the ground, and you could tell once they start getting their ass beat in slow motion, that voice gonna come in.
Yeah.
Remember, you've got the touch.
Yeah, right.
You've got the power. Man, fuck, I'm getting my ass beat.
I know, exactly.
Are you singing Transformers?
Yeah, well, I'm getting punched. I can't remember any of that. All I know is that my tooth is loose, and I want to go home.
While Danny's and Johnny's story continue to entertain, the nonsense that these kids keep bringing to this series bring it down, where this could be great like the first one. The kids need better writing. But what they're doing with the adults here is still a lot of fun. I give it a high rental. And a lot of people are just not going to care about the fighting stuff to me. Hey, look, like I said.
I mean, the fighting, it's nothing spectacular. It's not like watching an actual Asian martial arts movie.
And and some of it is so, like I said, some of it's so stupid, man, that I gave up and I said, well, look, it's just a comedy now.
Aw, I think your cat wants to come in.
I love that. He's leading his ass. He got on. They made sure to put that camera on his face to let you know how stupid he is.
I know, you're right.
Here, kitty.
That is comedic to have that the kids threw him through a small kitchen window. It wasn't enough. Like, I figured, okay, if they're gonna beat him up, they'll knock on the door and push him through. Because they do that with another kid. He goes walking in and they're like, damn, what happened to you? What do you think? They just beat the shit out of me.
I didn't know you had a cat.
We don't.
And they went over there. They went over there. They asked. They said, "What the hell? What the hell happened to you, man?" Like, I got thrown the window by a fucking cat. What you think? Got his ass laid up. You see the bottom of his feet right there.
But I don't know. I had a fun time with it. I give it a low matinee.
All right. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I think it's still fun. And like I said, even the stupid stuff is enough to laugh at.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I would love it if you found out that cat had a dojo.
I mean, shit, everybody's getting a dojo
Yeah.
now.